Hello, thank you for joining with me today. We are in chapter 3, The Innocent Perception, and we are picking up on judgment. We are in Ken Wapnick's Journey Through the Text of A Course in Miracles. This is volume 1. Judgment. The concept of judgment has two meanings in the Course. The first is condemnation, and that by far is the most important one in terms of Jesus' teaching. When he says we should give up judgment, he means we should give up condemning others or judging against them. However, judgment also has a larger meaning, very important in the world of perception. In this sense, judgment means selectivity, implying that there are things to select from. None of this, of course, is true in heaven, in whose unitary knowledge there is nothing to choose among. It is only within our nightmare world of duality that we think we can choose something else. Yet there is nothing else, and in truth there can be no judgment and no selectivity. Once the split mind occurred, judgment entered in, and when we made the physical universe along with its billions upon billions of fragments, we continued to judge. Indeed, without judgment, existence here would be impossible. For instance, I could not remain focused on my writing at the present moment if I paid attention to all the stimuli present in my office that would bombard my awareness. Sensations in my hands and other parts of my body, odors, sounds, colors, etc. I must make a choice, obviously done unconsciously, to select out or judge against those perceptual elements in the room that are not germane to my writing. Using another example, imagine people driving down a highway and allowing into their awareness all the stimuli around them. Crashing the car would be impossible to avoid, meaning that they need to screen out what is irrelevant and focus only on what is of immediate concern. These judgments, then, are perfectly natural and necessary for living in the world. And this perceptual selectivity is the basis of the Holy Spirit's correction for the ego's judgment. We look at the two mutually exclusive thought systems and make the only meaningful judgment possible. Light over darkness, truth over illusion. The process is described in this way in the context of the first principle of miracles. I have stated that the basic concepts referred to in this course are not matters of degree. Certain fundamental concepts cannot be understood in terms of opposites. It is impossible to conceive of light and darkness, or everything and nothing, as joint possibilities. They are all true or all false. It is essential that you realize your thinking will be erratic until a firm commitment to one or the other is made. Jesus is training us to be vigilant for the ego's judgment and mindful of his. As judgment is a major theme in our symphony, we turn to the section Judgment and the Authority Problem, which begins with a reference to the Last Judgment, also discussed at the end of chapter 2. In Christianity, this is when God or Jesus makes the final judgment of who is to be saved and who condemned, as he did with the concept of defenses explained in chapter 2, and in fact what he does throughout his course. Jesus takes a concept with strong ego connotations and provides us with a totally different meaning. The Last Judgment is not something God does, but rather is our looking back on everything the ego made and judging against it. This is no longer what I believe and choose to make real. The Last Judgment, therefore, is not punitive, but a totally benign judgment, that simply sees the error for what it is and proclaims, to quote the workbook, what is false and what is true has never changed. We look at what the ego made and judge its falsity, accepting the atonement's truth we had heretofore judged against so tenaciously. We are going to go ahead and stop there today, and we will pick up this reading tomorrow on the quote from the text. We're still in the knowledge versus perception, but we're looking at judgment. And this is chapter 3, the innocent perception. Thank you so much for joining with me, and I will see you tomorrow. I love you. Thank you.